So today we're playing Bully in 2025. This is the Xbox 360 version, which is the version that I would ultimately recommend that you play out of all the different versions available. So you have the PlayStation 2, you have the 360, you have the PC, and you also have the mobile version, which was released a couple years ago. And there's also the Wii version as well. The PS2 has less content out of all the versions. You don't have as many missions. It's not like that much less content, but the Scholarship Edition, which is the 360, Wii, and PC versions, do have some extra missions and extra stuff to do in the game. So I would just say, like, if you have access to any other platform aside from PS2, then I would suggest at least any of the other versions. Now, the reason why I recommend Xbox 360 over PC and Wii because there's nothing necessarily wrong with the Wii version, it's just the 360 version has better graphics. As far as the PC version is concerned, well, there are some problems with that version. It was never really fixed, it launched with a bunch of bugs that were never addressed, and now there are unofficial patches you can download, but it takes, a decent amount of effort and research to figure out how to fix the game and do all that. Like, I'm just saying, if you have a PC and no other option, then get it. I'm not trying to discourage you from playing it at all. Just be prepared that you're not going to be able to launch the game out of the box straight away. But if you have access to the 360 version that you can play on the Xbox One and Series X through backwards compatibility, I would just go with that version for just pure simplicity's sake. That's my recommendation. You can take it or leave it. And the mobile version is fine. Like, if that's your only option, it runs fairly well. Like, it's actually pretty decent, like a lot of the Rockstar remasters on mobile actually are. So, if that's your only option too, you can connect a controller to it and everything, it'll be fine. So, that's also fine. Like, any way you slice it, Bully is a great experience in 2025. I'm actually currently doing a Let's Play of it on my Let's Play channel. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description to the playlist so you can watch some of those videos. It's really fun. Obviously, it's shown its age a little bit in terms of graphics, in terms of gameplay, like the movement and everything, and the overall, like, the combat and all that stuff. But it's still a pretty good story. It's unique, right? Like, you can't really directly compare Bully to any other game where you play as a teenager at a boarding school, and it's like a Grand Theft Auto style game without the blood and the shooting and all that other stuff, right? I mean, you could shoot slingshots and rockets, like you have like a little like rocket launcher, but it shoots fireworks, not grenades. So it's got its own little unique charm. If you never played it before, it's like one of those like must-play games. Like if you could come up with a list of must-play games, think of Zelda, think of Mario, but Bully should also be on that list as well. So I love this game to death. It is certainly one of my favorite games of all time. I love everything about it, pretty much. I can't think of too many things where I'm like, oh, this is not good. Like, it's seriously like a solid 9, 10 out of 10 game that still, even though it's been 19 years now since the original release in 2006, it still holds up very well, aged like a fine wine. One thing I didn't clarify, and I need to just say this before I close the video, in regards to the PlayStation 2 version, you guys will notice that it's also playable on the PS4 and PS5 because it was re-released on those consoles through the PlayStation Network. You still do not get the Scholarship Edition content. You don't get the extra content even if you're playing on a PS4 or a PS5. You still get the regular PS2 version that doesn't have everything in it. Now, that being said, like I said before, it's still a great game, and you're not going to miss out on a crazy amount of content. Like, it's not like, oh my god, it's so much stuff that you lost out on that it's not even worth playing the PS2. I'm just saying be prepared for that. If you want to get the full, complete experience, then all the other versions except for PS2 are what you want to go for. So I just wanted to make sure we were clear on that. Otherwise, it's a great single-player game, guys. It's one of those, like, looking back, it's like, damn, I wish there were more games like this. Because even single-player games these days are just filled with DLC, microtransactions, whatever, like, all these different things. And it's just, gaming's not the same anymore. It's not as fun, in my opinion. Maybe that's just me getting old, but I look at games like Bully, and I'm like, wow, like, just take me back to those days. Gaming just had something special 20 years ago that it lost over time. I would say around like 2013, 2014 is when I started feeling this way, and it continues to this day. I think it's even worse now than it was a decade ago. But I love everything about this game, from, you know, when you get busted by the, what are they called, the prefects instead of the police, they're the prefects. And, well, you also have the police in the town as well. So if you get caught, if you get busted, you get detention. You have to play these really shitty mini games in order to get out of detention, and then you also have to go to class. Well, you don't have to, you can skip it, but they're like nice little cool mini games from the different classes that you have to attend, like art class and gym class, and they all offer different things. You have arcade mini games, like you have like little arcade machines scattered around the map. There's so much different things that like just make it a special experience that everybody should have at least once in their life.